Hey everybody, it's Blair with the Badass Records podcast, welcoming you in for another episode, and I am pleased to share with you that this week's guest is Adam Doyle. He is at Doyle93 on Instagram and at Shotgun Wedding Singer also on Instagram. Shotgun Wedding Singer has 3 singles and 2 EPs out there on the streaming platforms for you to check out, the latter of which is from February of this year, so be sure to find Shotgun Wedding Singer Presents an Introduction to Bridge Burning. Episodes of this podcast air Thursdays more often than not. You can consume it on the website, which is badassrecordspodcast.com. Find it where you stream and download your music and podcasts, or view it on YouTube. The Instagram handle for this thing is at Badass Records Podcast. That's all I got for you this week. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you enjoy the show. So let's see here. I think this is going to wind up being episode 219, Badass Records Podcast. Adam Doyle, welcome.
Hi.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Appreciate you being here. We'll get to this in just a moment, but like this section here underneath the speaker's picture feels very tribal and kind of rhino adjacent. So, yeah. I mean, Matt Jackson there, I think you know that fella.
He's my drummer.
There you go, there you go.
Better.
But it's funny, I did about 20 years in the restaurant business, and so I had like folks that I could reach out to sort of get this off the ground, and it spilled kind of into the local music scene, which is fantastic. But this little pocket of, I guess late winter into spring, early summer is definitely the most tribal in terms of folks that know each other and are in bands together and so on and so forth. So it's been fun. And Ben is the other piece, right? I messaged him ages ago, and then a few months ago he was like, "Oh, I'm so glad I put Instagram back on my phone. Love to do it. Let's talk." And then nothing since. I know he's got tons.
Yeah, he definitely wants to do it. I know because he's mentioned. He's like, "Yeah, no, Blair reached out to me." So I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Sweet.
Like, so he's mentioned it to me that he wants to. So
Right
I think it may be easier for you to reach out to him via email, just as like.
I might have tried if you're a band and you want to gig at the Rhino, I might have tried that at one point.
Gotcha.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, we could talk about that later,
but you are at Gardoyle93 on Instagram.
Yes.
Is that your birth year?
Yeah.
Wow. It's my high school graduation year. But also at Shotgun Wedding Singer as well. Pump action pop punk band from KC featuring Ben, Adam, and Matt. You guys have Facebook, YouTube channel. Your Gmail's there for bookings.
Yep.
On Apple and presumably the other streaming services. 3 singles and an EP from last year and a second EP from February. Cool stuff. Congrats on that second EP. Seems like you guys have had a busy couple of years.
Yeah.
Are you only a couple years old, or?
Yeah, we formed, I want to say, if I remember right, this is we just passed year 3 of being a band, but this is, I want to say our our first show was in 2024.
Okay.
And so we've done 2 full years, so we're just past the 2-year mark this January, so we're about 2.5 years playing out shows.
I mean, that's,
yeah.
I'm not, I've never been in a band or really even had the discipline to like master an instrument. But that feels kind of like it's still fresh.
Yeah, it definitely does. It's also weird for me because it's the first band I've ever been
No
in.
way.
So that's been a trip because Ben, our bassist, is actually my guitar teacher. So,
Are you serious?
Yeah, no.
Wow.
We were very good friends. I met him through interning at Starlight when he worked there while I was just there for a summer. And then when I graduated college and came to Kansas City, like I knew he was still here. We started hanging out, and then like he hosts the open mic at the Rhino, and then also like does all that stuff. So I caught like one of his old band, the Way Back shows, and really dug it, and then started hanging out just in the music scene in general to hang out. And then eventually I was kind of like, oh, maybe I want to figure out how to learn a guitar.
Yeah.
He helped me pick out my first acoustic to figure out like how I wanted to do that, and I started learning on my own, but eventually. I like started asking him for advice and different things just back and forth. He's like, "Do you just want me to teach you?" And I was like, "Sure, man. What do you want? Like, I'll pay you." And it's like, "Just give me a hug. It's fine."
Oh,
So
wow.
It was really cool. So yeah, he was my teacher for a solid amount of time, and then eventually got to a point where I was kind of like, hey, I kind of want to try being a band, and I was already really good friends with him and Matt, so I just had asked them, I was like, do you want to try and do something? And they both said sure.
Wow.
So, yeah,
That's wild because and maybe it's this adjacent thing that I spoke to, but it's sort of I'm not trying to be silly or goofy, but it sort of feels like you guys are kind of famous. I mean, just because like, it's like I didn't hear about you guys or see a digital presence, probably not for any other reason beyond not looking or being in the right place at the right time. But then all of a sudden it was like, I'm seeing it all the time, and it sort of seems to be attached to other bands or friends with lots of other bands.
I don't know. I think it's just that I think we all pride ourselves in how much we love being a part of the scene and just going to each other's shows and being a part of it, promoting each other, that kind of thing. So maybe it just stems from that, because I wouldn't say that we're like that big in the scene or anything, but
Right.
we definitely had some cool opportunities. Like I know one of the weirdest and wildest things, especially for me, was my third show for Shotgun Wedding Singer, was we landed local support for the red jumpsuit apparatus at the Truman.
Wow.
And I had no like I was like kind of stunned because like Ben was messaging us. I was like, hey, we got this offer. Like, Adam, if you don't want to do it, we totally understand. This would be like your third show. And I was like, I can't do that to my two of my best friends. Of course we're gonna do this. I'll figure it out. So that wound up being our third show ever, doing local support for that, and it was really cool.
How does something like that happen?
We got reached out to by one of the local promoters, Seth Keen. I don't know if you're familiar with him or not,
Okay.
but he had reached out to Ben because he was promoting that show, and they were wanting to get local support on it. So he had just asked because he had seen Shotgun play a couple times, I believe. I don't know all of the ins and outs of that, but yeah, I was totally down. I was like, we'll figure it out. I'll be fine.
Did
Trial by
you
fire.
have any stage fright? Were you anxious?
I think I kind of, I don't think I was so much stage fright for, and this has always been the case actually for me. I've never had like stage fright for the crowd. I've had stage fright for, I don't want to mess up for my two friends that I think are way more talented than I am that are on stage right now.
And, usually, again, not from the lens of never having done it, but I've heard enough folks say it. If you're nervous about messing up, the crowd's not nobody's really gonna know unless you make a big deal out of it.
And it's
your
definitely-
bandmates, however.
Yeah, well, and I mean, even then, they're both two of the most supportive people I have in my
Nice.
life. So, like, it's never been an issue. It's just me being in my own head.
Yeah.
And I've learned to get over it pretty easily, but it's still there a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. So Matt's on drums.
Yep.
You're on guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Ben's on bass. Vocals are shared.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does the songwriting dynamic look like in Shotgun Wedding Singer?
It's really cool, actually, because all three of us do.
Nice.
Yeah. So most of the lyrics for the past, like everything that we've released, have been lyrics that either I've written or Ben has written, and we brought to the table. And typically, what we'll do is like one of us in general will have an idea for a song and kind of send that just with like a really rough like scratch demo or something to everybody, and then we'll like work on it, see if we can develop lead sheets, and then when we can meet for practice, we all kind of try and put it together and figure it out.
Lead sheets?
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, so like if I write the lyrics for a song and I have like the chord progressions for my part, just so they can see like what key it's in, I'll like have that for them. Is this that kind of thing
coming via text or email, Dropbox?
Like, yeah, like Google Drive, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay, so you could navigate all the steps of that on your phone if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it safe to say that there's a quote unquote formula then that lyrics are always coming first?
No, that can definitely be a mixture of things, like whether it's either lyrics first or instruments first, or even like instruments just with like a vocal melody and you don't even have the words yet, kind of a thing where we're talking through stuff. Like I know like Ben has sent stuff before where it's like the melody sounds awesome, but he's just kind of singing whatever like yeah, exactly. But it's like, so it's like, oh no, like that sounds really cool, so like let's figure it out. And what's really neat too is that more recently, like Matt's extremely talented and can play drums, bass, and guitar and sing, and it's crazy, and it's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. And he like has sent us like full demos before. It's like, hey guys, I think I kind of wrote a full song. I just don't have lyrics for it. Let's figure it out. And that's actually been more recently, to where like we're writing stuff for like our next EP, whatever that's going to look like. We don't know. We're very early in that, but like we all have like 2 to 3 each of us that we want to like bring to the table for that, which is really cool. So
is there an example that you could share with me where there's a melody or a chord progression or whatever and the lyrics are absent and you come up with something? Like, is it sort of stuff that's happening in everyday life? Is it overarching, larger kind of thing? Or
I think it kind of depends just on the given scenario. I mean, sometimes that is kind of hand in hand, like whether if I'm feeling a specific way, and I think it just kind of differs depending on what's going on. Like sometimes I'll write lyrics for a whole song and not have any idea what the melody is or what I want the guitar stuff to be at all. I just needed to get those emotions out of my system in some form.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'll have like, oh, that's a really cool chord progression, I like that. I have no idea what I want the words to be, but I can figure something out that fits the mood. And I just kind of like more or less kind of like reflect and see what makes sense for like, okay, what should this be about? Like, does anything come to mind when I just start kind of saying like random words? Like, do I want to do that? Do I have like an idea for the mood that this is? Like, should this sound be something that's more happy? Should it be something a bit more emotional or deeper than that? Like, just kind of dependent on what it is. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the newest EP is called Shotgun Wedding Singer Presents an Introduction to Bridge Burning.
Yes.
Tell me about that title, please.
So that album, EP, whatever you want to call it, is all about more or less figuring out how to cut people that either are toxic and always have been, or maybe they have grown to be, and you may have had rose-tinted glasses about it that whole time until a certain point. And it's really interesting just because both Ben and I are the ones that wrote lyrics for different songs on that, but we were going through interestingly similar experiences with different people at the same time, so it just kind of worked out. It's a lot of just the various emotions with that. Like, I know... and then I guess like the first song on that one is called Everyone's a Critic, and it's not about any particular person, but it is kind of about like cutting general toxicity out from your life, because that whole song is about like wanting to make something and be better and like put something out into the world, and even if people are like cynical about it or thinking that it's not good or whatever, like if it matters to you and you want to put it out there, like that's what matters. It doesn't matter what they say. So
we're talking intentional bridge burning.
Yes.
Not the kind of thing where you would say to a friend, hey, if you're not careful, you might burn that bridge, and they don't even realize what's happening.
And even some of it is too, like there's another song on there. The song Bridges is one that I wrote, and that is about me really, really, really not wanting to give up the relationship that that song is about, and realizing that hopefully it can be salvaged, but it just might not be able to, just due with all the experiences with that person that I had. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
And the band name itself.
Oh.
How does that originate?
That was a running joke between me and Ben for literally just like if we were hanging out. I was like, so if we're gonna start a band, it's gonna be called Shotgun Wedding Singer. Just
wow.
like totally like out of pocket, like just us joking back and forth because it's a fun like play on words. And then it does have a bit of inspiration. Like the main inspiration for it, in actuality, along with that joke, is that we're all really big fans of the band Modern Baseball. I don't know if you're familiar with them or not. Really, really solid 2010s like emo punk band. They're fantastic, and they stopped making music a while ago, but it has seemed like some of their members have resurged and are playing like solo acoustic shows recently and different things, playing covers of those songs that they wrote. So we're all curious if they're going to be some...
Who discovered them first?
As far as like out of us, like as a band,
or did you guys meet and you already?
Oh, we all knew the band. Yeah,
okay.
Like they're a band that we were all very familiar with. Yeah.
Okay.
But they have an album called, or they have a song called Wedding Singer. The album's called Holy Ghost, but that song in particular is what kind of inspired the name. But like, and then bringing the pun in, because a lot of bands in those genres do reference like other bands via song titles and stuff like that.
Gotcha. So. Okay. So 3 singles and 2 EPs. Have all of these releases been recorded at the same place, or have you mixed it up? Or
so no, the first single was a collaborative effort. We were looking at releasing that. We eventually we had recorded our own stems and then brought it to a couple of different producers. Kyle Ward, who's phenomenal, and has his studio, then Riley Corbin as well. Just getting various pieces of that taken care of to where we could get that released. That one was a bit more of a rushed job because we were trying to release something really fast. But in the end, it did get created, and we were happy with it. We do want to potentially revisit at some point just to see what we can do with it. Maybe we can. Because like we've talked about like adding parts that we're like, oh, we could totally do this now. Like there's things that we do live that isn't on that single that would be cool to have captured that way.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. So, but then the rest of our stuff has been recorded with Rod Fenton of Solstice Audio.
Yeah,
and Rod's phenomenal. He's a really good dude.
193 there.
Yeah,
and he loved our chat. Super sweet dude. Emailed me a list of like 15 people.
Oh, nice.
To reach out, like, I mean, I don't know if it's half, but even if it's like one person becomes an episode guest, like that's the only way this keeps going is me coming across new folks to chat with. But I mean, Rod was like, "Here you go." I was like, "Oh my god!" And I think Matt was on the list.
Yeah.
Anyway, super cool. And then so after that first single, Rod's done the bulk of the...
Yeah.
Okay. You said stems a minute ago.
Yeah.
What was the phrase that was used in?
Oh, just like the recording process. So we were basically tracking our own stuff in Matt's basement and then sending it to Kyle and Riley. It was more or less what we did.
I'm glad you said that because my next question was going to be, are stems and tracks synonymous?
More, it's similar.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
More or less the same thing, just like the base like files for that.
Yeah.
Is what we were referring to there, but yeah.
I didn't poke too deep beyond the most recent EP, but it's got some pretty cool cover art.
Yeah.
Does the other EP and how have you sourced that?
Our drummer Matt is also a graphic designer and videographer for a living, so he has done all of our artwork.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should have known that.
Very handy.
Because akin to Rod's cool gesture, when Matt when his episode came out, he sent me a little thing. And it's like, for an episode, I'll do like a snippet of a track for the intro, and then of course, my least favorite part of the whole thing is just recording myself being like, hey, this week's episode is da da da. It's just looking at my own dumb face and hearing my own voice, right? And so then another piece of the track, and then I have a little stop motion video that my daughter recorded, I don't know, 6 years ago, with music, and the outro as well. And usually I'm just for the video piece of those portions, I'm just sticking the logo. And Matt took the logo and turned it into like this little.
Yeah.
He's like, here. And I was like,
really
he's
good.
like,
at what he
feel
does.
free to use it whenever. And I was like, I'm using it this week and for every episode.
Every episode ever.
Thank you kindly, sir. That's hilarious.
He's great.
So talked about the sort of the community that feels to be I don't know if it's attached to the Rhino or just friends in other bands. And I think you said just a few moments ago something along the lines of being stoked to be part of the scene.
Yeah, just in general, like the community itself in general, friends with all these different artists and creatives doing absolutely what they love and being really good at doing it. It's so impressive every time I go see my friends play or new bands play that like my friends introduce me to because they think they're cool, or just going to a show to see what's up.
Yeah. So let's say you're going to a show. You are going to a show tonight.
Yeah.
After this skate bar. Shouts out to Jesse and God, the other name's escaping me, but the Rocks, who did episode 70. Say you get there, you get a beverage, you're standing around, nothing's really happening yet. Folks are just starting to fill in, and a stranger comes up and says to you, "Hey, I'm so and so. It's my first day in Kansas City. What's the local music scene like here?" How would you answer that?
I think it's a very diverse music scene, honestly. I think we have so many different talented artists in so many different genres. Just by like going to open mics and seeing that, I think is really what kind of opened my eyes to that, because there's so many people that do like folk or like singer-songwriter, hip hop, metal, punk, emo. Like they're all these genres are here in the city, and it's just a matter of looking for it, really.
Are there multiple open mic spots around town?
Oh yeah.
And if it's an open mic window of 2 hours or whatever, is it typically the case that any genres you can get up there and do your thing?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, for the most part, it's typically pretty open for whatever you want to do. I know a lot of it does cater to, obviously, like the one person with their guitar with them and they're able to do their thing. Like that's kind of the what the stereotypical thought of is for an open mic. But I know like they have one at Piano Room, they have one at Rhino, they have various ones across the city. But like I've seen like hip hop artists go up. I've seen, depending on the night, like a band come in and do like fully kitted a song before, depending on if the venue's cool with it or not. Like they'll bring their drums in and bass, guitar, whatever it needs to be. Obviously, like we'll ask her, like, are you guys cool with like, you probably only get one song, maybe two, and like if they're okay with it, it's like, yeah, this is a really cool experience. I just got to see a full band play like a song because they want to get ready for a show or just like play out in front of people and get used to it. I think that's really neat.
I haven't come across this a ton, but I've come across it a little bit, and not just this podcast lane of my life, but as a young person, around the time that you were being conceived, my big thing every week was Thursdays. The Pitch would come out. I think it was Thursdays, and I'm talking. This is way before the internet, but so it's going down to Street Side Records or the whatever, and getting a paper copy and flipping to the back to see who's playing here, who's playing in Lawrence, and where am I going to see live music. I feel like, and maybe this is true for music scenes in whatever city across the country, but there's definitely some folks that are like, the Kansas City music scene is lacking fill in the blank. Whether that's diversity among genres or supporting one another. Do you think that there's an identifiable, tangible thing that the scene is missing, or is it healthy and should continue to grow organically the way it is?
That is a tough question. I have to think about that a little bit, but I think like something that is important to me most of all is just the community aspect of it. And I think if that's the foundation, then the other stuff will come. If that is the one thing that I would say would just be like, let's keep focusing on something that I think we are good at, and that is that community. I think that can do a lot just from the support of each other, the support of promotion, and those kinds of things. But yeah, I think just as long as people keep at it, good things will
Yeah.
come.
I suppose a caveat might be helpful or necessary, and one example that comes to mind is folks that are from Chicago. This sort of knee-jerk comparing Kansas City to a city like Chicago, which population-wise are apples and oranges, and so if you have X amount more folks, then you're going to have more outfits, more venues, more options, if you will, on a night-to-night basis. So I guess maybe it could be said that it's not lacking anything. It's just not really wise or worthwhile to compare it to a quote-unquote large market city.
Yeah, I would think that makes sense. I think that also too, like even with that, like I think it's just a matter of making it something special for people as well, like making people want to go out and do that. Because even if there was more venues, more spaces, that kind of thing, it's easier than ever to just stay at home on any given night.
I know, right?
So I think as long as people are truly like showing that they care and making their art special and encouraging each other, I think that's what'll get people out more than anything, truly driving that kind of community aspect and giving people a real experience.
Yeah. So, are you familiar with Bob Walkenhorst of
I'm not.
Rainmakers? He did episode 139 with me, and the Rainmakers, arguably were like the biggest rock act to kind of ever come out of KC in the 80s.
Okay.
The parallel that I draw is sort of Tech Nine. Like,
oh, really?
You and I know Tech Nine.
Yeah.
Maybe folks around the country do too, but they're probably not hearing his name as often as we are.
Yeah.
Talking to Bob about, their sort of their heyday, and he talks about, 2, 3, 4 downtown, midtown, Westport venues that were like packed every night of the week with live music. And, shoot, a pack of smokes was $1.75 and cover charges were probably $3 and different times long before the internet. But I think that's so cool that like foundationally speaking that there's some history to live local music here.
Yeah.
And I feel like how long's the Rhino been around?
I think they're going on 10 years.
10.
Close to
okay.
it. Yeah.
What about...
I think it might be 9 and they're about to hit 10.
Okay.
I can't remember, yeah.
The Truman's newish.
Yeah.
Right? Have you been to Farewell?
I have, yeah.
Okay. How long has that been around?
It's been around for a few years now.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't know the exact amount of time, but I do know that like several bands that I like, one in particular that I love now that's blown up, a punk band called Military Gun.
Okay.
Absolutely incredible. Their last 2 records have like no skips in my opinion.
From KC?
No, they're not from KC,
okay.
but they have gone through Howdy and Farewell.
Okay.
And that just blows my mind because that was like within a few years that's happened.
Wow.
So just to kind of see that.
Then there's I'm not going to get this right, but there's a new 515. Have you seen this?
No.
It's been on like my Instagram and TikTok. It's I'm not even sure if it's open just yet, but point being it's, new venues are popping up.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's cool stuff. What about you? Are you born and raised in the area?
More or less.
Okay.
If I'm traveling, I'll say I'm from Kansas City.
Sure.
But I actually grew up in a very small country town called Freeman. That's south of here by about an hour.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Is it like along 71 or?
Yeah. More or less. You know where Harrisonville is?
Yeah.
Okay. So go like 20 minutes west of Harrisonville, and you'll hit Freeman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Siblings?
I have a sister.
Okay.
She actually lives in Gladstone, like 5 minutes from me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any idea how mom and dad's paths crossed initially?
If I remember right, they met in Texas.
Okay.
And then moved to Illinois. And they had me there. And then my dad is actually from the same town that I grew up in for most of my life.
Okay.
So they when he got a job offer to work around that area, that he moved back.
Sure,
to his
sure.
hometown, so.
Whether at home or in the cars, vehicles, are mom and dad putting on music to listen to when you're young?
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad was all about country or southern rock. His favorite band of all time is CCR.
Okay.
So that was a big a big part of my life. And then my mom was always either listening to like oldies or like contemporary church music kind of stuff. And then my sister's her favorite band of all time is Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
So
Nice.
it was a very interesting different funnels of music to me when I was little. And while I definitely like and appreciate all of those, I do think that is kind of where my music interest veered into, like, the albums that I put on the list to send to you. Like, more, I gravitated towards something that felt more specifically me, I guess. I don't know. But like all the records on there, I'm sure you know, sort of like punk, metal, or emo for the most part. But that's I still have a great appreciation for all those genres as well.
You mentioned college a little bit ago. Where did you end up going?
I went to UCM over in Warrensburg.
Okay.
So I spent 6 years there, thankfully for 2 degrees, not just for one.
Hey, who's counting? Man?
Yeah. But had a good time there, and then moved to KC right afterwards.
Okay.
So.
Did you think that was always the move? Was after college you'd be here? Were
More or less.
I knew entertaining going back to Freeman, or?
I knew that if I wanted to get a job in IT, that wasn't going to be where I went, and that's what my degree was in.
Okay.
And then I stayed to get like a management master's, but whenever I moved here, it was because I had done an internship at where I work, and I had done it for 2 years, for 2 summers, I mean. And at the end of your final summer, you do like an exit interview to see if they want to hire you on. And I got the offer. So I was like, well, why wouldn't I just move to KC at that point? So
you had an internship at your current employer plus an internship at Starlight?
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
How'd you land the Starlight one?
The Starlight one was through a referral from a friend. He had actually done it the summer before me.
Okay.
And so I had him as a reference, and then I just kind of went through like the typical intern interview process for what they had. But there was a job fair at UCM that Starlight was at, and I just...
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you know what responsibilities you would have interning at Starlight?
Not in particularly. I knew it would be kind of general IT, like help and work.
Oh,
so
okay.
I knew that I essentially figured...
They're not like, tonight you're running the board.
Yeah, no, I don't think they would trust me with that. But
you're working concessions this evening.
No, a lot of it wound up being like if it was like during the day and it wasn't like prime show season, it was like just doing like here and there like work with like either network equipment or whatever, just like little things like that. But when show season hit, I was essentially the person that would go around and help anybody that was volunteering with taking tickets, because they had the scanners. If they had any kind of technical issues or troubleshooting needs, I would have a walkie on me, and I would just go from person to person, like just the different hubs around the entrances, making sure everyone was good. And then once that hit, typically there wasn't usually a huge need, but I'd just be there to make sure to help and get things taken care of at the end of the night as well.
For all of the amazing things that technology has given us and continues to give us, that one is pretty saddening to me because I love my concert stub.
Oh, I love physical tickets.
Collection.
I know it's so sad. Like I was like, okay, now when you buy like you get like a physical ticket if you buy like a deluxe package. I'm like, why? What is that? Like, why?
Bullshit.
Can we please just?
I've seen him at the official band merch stands.
Yeah,
it's like socks for $12. A ticket's $6. I actually already bought a ticket. Dude.
Yeah.
So. Roughly population of Freeman versus Warrensburg?
Freeman is under 500 people, maybe just around.
Seriously?
Oh yeah, it's very small. It's tiny.
Graduating high school class of
39, and that was with a combination of 3 other towns going to the same school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mine was like 412.
Yep.
2,000 whatever kids. Anyway.
Yeah. I want to say K through 12 was around 500 to 600 kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are there folks that were or still are homies of yours that have never left?
There are a few, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a couple of good friends that have like stuck around the area. They may not even necessarily live in Freeman specifically, but definitely like they may have moved into the town over that I played football against or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Out of high school, I went to Pitt State for a year.
Oh, okay.
Which had, was enjoyable. I made new friends. There was plenty to do, sort of, on the weekends, but I came home a lot. I had a car down there. It's basically 2 hours on the nose. Did you come home a bunch, or did you stay? What were you doing?
I didn't. I stayed. I typically stayed at school for the most part. I would come home every once in a while, like every month or so, if that, and then mostly like on holidays and stuff like that, I would go home for sure. But
yeah.
And
then, were you direct to KC, or did you go home for a minute to catch your breath, or?
I went direct to KC, just based off of like when my job would start and those kinds of things. So I moved from Warrensburg to a buddy of mine who was he was a couple years older than me, but we were friends in college, and he was like, "Hey, I have a place if you want to stay with me." Like,
wow,
more than welcome to. Just like, here's what rent is. So I was like, sick, easy move.
Damn.
we'll do it. So
you move your tassel to the other side and enter the job world like immediately, basically.
Pretty much. I think it was maybe a couple of weeks just in between, but that was essentially me just living where I did in Warrensburg and then hauling my stuff over and kind of just getting settled. So
okay, very cool. So. Your list that you sent me, it's still over here. We're not there yet. At home growing up, you've got CCR, and your sister's digging the Chili Peppers, mom's listening to oldies, and what else?
Oh, like contemporary, church music kind of stuff.
Okay. So, in my mind, my version of that, when I'm a young person, is like, that's the whole universe of music. Like what I hear at home and what I hear in their cars and blah, blah, blah. And then at one point, you and your buddies start swapping albums, or you go buy an album for the first time with your own money. So not from your list, but is there an album that stands out that was sort of like that first aha?
I'm actually really glad you asked this, because there is one.
Okay.
And I had it in mind. I almost put it on the list, but I was like, these other albums technically mean more to me, but that one is so influential. So whenever I was younger, we were visiting, we were in Texas. We were visiting some family friends of ours, and my quote-unquote Uncle Corey gave me a CD, and it was all of Switchfoot's Beautiful Letdown. And that kind of, opened my brain to, oh, this is what alternative music is.
Yeah.
And I really, really dug it. And as soon as, that's kind of, what opened the gates, and then through that, just, trying to find other bands like that, or just something similar in those that space growing up. Eventually, getting a little bit older, starting to recognize stuff and see stuff on the radio. The bands that are on the list are there, Blink, Fall Out Boy, Green Day, were all huge whenever I was growing up. So that was a lot of where that came from. Talking to friends back and forth.
Somebody had a Switchfoot record on their list not too long ago.
I think it was Christian Dixon.
I think you're right. You're 1,000%.
I think it is, because it was Vice Versus, and that's actually my favorite Switchfoot album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys know each other.
A little bit, yeah. We've crossed paths and stuff. I would love to get to know him better. I know he's very good friends with Ben and a lot of other people in the scene. I just haven't talked to him that much.
Yeah. Very sweet dude.
Yeah.
We had a great conversation, and are still sort of trying to figure out when we can get a beer together. But he's, in fact, he just moved from one Maryville home to another. And it's like whenever my availability opens up, he's like wrapping up gigging for the night here, and then it's an hour or whatever to get up there, and it's like, do we want to go have beers before you drive in the dark for an hour?
Yeah, that's fair.
So we haven't been able, but I want to, Christian, if you're listening. So first or early concert memory.
Ooh, I went to a couple of like more like Christian rock oriented festivals when I was younger, and that was around the time where there was like I don't know if you're familiar with like Thousand Foot Crutch or like Skillet or any of those kinds of bands, but those were kind of the immediate bands I found whenever I found Switchfoot.
Okay.
So those were kind of my first initial concert experiences, and then eventually that led into like I went to Warped Tour a couple times growing up, which was awesome. And then also one that I will never forget, like my first true like this feels like what actually like sealed my first like real concert experiences. I got to see and meet Under Oath in Lawrence at the Granada on the album that they were touring before they would go on hiatus for a number of years before they got back together a little bit more recently. But that was one of the coolest things. I want to say I was either 15, 16, 17, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I knew, but it was me and a buddy of mine who Under Oath has been one of his favorite bands for forever. And he's the one that showed them to me. And I was like, oh, we have to go to this. Like, I love this. This is like post-hardcore, like just emo. I loved all of it.
Yeah.
But like go to that, and that was, I say, also was the first time I experienced like a true mosh pit, which was both exhilarating and terrifying and awesome all at the same time.
Perfect description of mosh pits.
No, I joke around with my friends that I'm a pit goblin. I actually really like mosh pits.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
It's such a crazy concept.
I know. It's so interesting because like while it's so hectic, at the same time everyone's looking out for each other. Like
Fair.
It's a very interesting sense of community when you're in a pit. But
I'm gonna try not to stay in this topic long because I'm bringing it up in every episode recently. But have you seen Project Hail Mary?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so good.
So fucking good. So he's piecing together the things, and we get to this moment. I got goosebumps where he does the space burial, and he says, "Commander Yao, you make a funny face in almost every picture." Right? I spent a small handful of seconds looking at pics on your IG page, and you are like the happiest fucking dude. Huge smile in every picture, which, like, you know, if before you got here, if somebody had been like, that guy's like the mosh pit king of Kansas City, I'd have been like, what? That guy?
No, it's never out of anger or anything like that. That's what's so interesting is it's usually just rowdiness. It's never.
No, I know.
Yeah,
but there's, you know, I haven't been in a pit in a long time, but the few times I was in one as a young person, it felt like there was always like head on a swivel for that one dude that really wants to get a shot in.
Yeah.
And I was even a smaller framed person, so, you know, it wouldn't take much to, you know, bust my lip open or knock me over or whatever. And it's like,
totally fair.
Nobody else is doing that, dude. Why did you just do that?
Yeah, you know I mean, I look at that. I also keep my head on a swivel for that reason.
Okay.
Like I'm not going in there carefree for sure, but
nice. So your trajectory as a musician is fascinating because I think you said that Shotgun Wedding Singer is your first band, and shortly-ish before joining it, you're learning how to play guitar?
Yeah. I want to say I started learning guitar in 2019 with Ben teaching me.
And you start on acoustic.
Yes. that was probably for about 6 months, and then Ben was like, "You really want to play an electric, don't you?" And I was like,
could
"Yeah,
tell.
yeah."
How did you come to him with an acoustic?
Well, I figured like that was more or less like just kind of the starting point for everybody. So
It kind of sort of should
yeah,
be.
which I totally get because also it's way harder to play an acoustic as
Yeah.
opposed to an electric.
Talk about developing calluses.
Yeah,
That's
and like I'd gotten to that point, I'd started getting more used to playing on an acoustic. But as far as like the music that I wanted to play, like the genre, like just knowing, like he knew what I wanted to play.
Right.
So it's like you really want to play an electric. So eventually I got a Strat, and that was my first electric guitar.
okay.
Yeah.
And since that Strat, how many have you acquired?
Surprisingly more than I would have thought. So
Single digits.
thankfully single digits.
Okay,
I'm not trying to get that crazy.
Right.
But, so I have all of what we have recorded is on my Telecaster.
Okay.
And then I recently got a just for fun, a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, I'm not going to be playing much anymore. Do you want this Ibanez for like super cheap?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll take it." It's fun to mess around with,
Yeah.
and I like it. But my new baby is I got a white and gold Les Paul
Okay.
Epiphone inspired by Gibson, which is actually like a solid deal because it's, if I remember correctly, it has a lot of the internals of the more Gibson stuff, but like it's the external stuff that's Epiphone, if I remember right. But absolutely beautiful guitar, and it sounds incredible.
Do you think the Telecaster's feelings are a little hurt?
I think the Telecaster will be fine.
Okay.
Because essentially now, I think it's mostly everything that Shotgun's written so far for me in guitar has been in drop D, and I think the Les Paul is more suited for that now, just after playing it. But if we write anything in standard, and we're starting to with our writing stuff, that's what I'm gonna write with the Tele. I think it's just better suited for it. It's brighter in that way.
So, say you wake up and the slate is completely clear. You have nothing. You don't even have any text or email messages to return. You can just do whatever you want, and you decide you're going to start the day off playing some music. Is it toned, or is it personnel? Like what do you suppose it is that decides for you which guitar you're going to pick up when you're just going to noodle around with no agenda? Is it mood? Like, what is it?
I think right now I would probably, just for the sake of the drop D of it all, would be my Les Paul, just because that's what I'm the most used to writing in and what I'm most used to playing shows live with. But as far as that goes, like if I feel like what will probably happen is I might start writing on the Les Paul and then be like, oh, this could sound cooler if it was brighter, have a different mood if it was brighter, and then I would probably switch over most likely. And then that's just a matter of me getting more used to it. I still consider myself pretty novice when it comes to guitar. So.
Right. But I mean, you've been a part of written and recorded projects, and you gig fairly regularly, and you're right. I mean, yeah. I saw, I think it was 2023, Kurt Weill. He has been, Kurt Weill and the Violators have kind of been doing their own thing for a number of years now, but he and Adam Grandisill formed the War on Drugs together. And then he was like, I'm going to do my thing, you do your thing. So he's been, anyway, I saw him at Liberty Hall in Lawrence in 23. And if he had a 15-song set list, I would pretty much guarantee you that he played 14 different guitars.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, to me, like I know his tone, I know his sound, studio speaking. It was my first time seeing him live, but it was just like, this is great. Like, I know there's a difference for him, but for me and my...
Oh, for sure.
It was like, that's cool. They all look real freaking handsome.
Oh, yeah.
But I couldn't tell you at all what difference they're making for you as the guy playing them. So, anyway, it's just fascinating how... What was the the moment or the feeling or the source of inspiration where you go, I want to learn how to play guitar, and you get an acoustic and you put some energy into finding out a place to take lessons, etc.
Yeah. So I think it was almost kind of like a delayed start by several years, weirdly. So slight text for it is whenever I was in high school, around like my junior year, they started offering like guitar as an elective
Cool.
for music classes.
Yeah.
But I didn't know about it. It was like only like
And your tiny little...
Yeah, well, and it was weird because it was more or less like the band teacher like offered it to people that were already in band or doing something of that nature.
Gotcha.
So I didn't hear about it. But I had friends that were in band that heard about it and took it, and they didn't. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, that's really cool. And like I'd started watching them play and being like, oh, that's really neat. And I always had like a gravitation towards the love that I have for music. But I was like, oh, that'd be neat. And whenever I asked my parents about it, and they give a very logical answer. They're like, hey, you're a junior. You're about to go to college. Like, if you had asked us about this maybe like 2 years ago, like, we probably would have signed you up for lessons and it would have been you would have been good. But more or less, like, we're probably not going to do that. And I was like, okay, makes
Word
sense.
of the day is J-O-B job.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's totally cool. So I did get a very old acoustic guitar from my mom that she had gotten when she was like 17, around that time, just because she knew I still kind of wanted to look into it. Unfortunately, the strings on that guitar got broken, and I was a very dumb kid that didn't know how to fix any of those things or look into it. So I just kind of like put it in the case and set it aside for that time. But now I still have it, and I want to get it restrung. It's just a very old, different style of how you need to do so. Just to have it would
do it,
cool.
man. Get it up and running again. Just to have it hanging out with the others. It'd be awesome.
But yeah, so that was kind of my initial, like, I would think it would be cool to learn how to play music. And I essentially kind of left my mind up until, like, I had graduated college and gotten to this point where, like I said, I had, like, gone to see one of Ben's bands play and really, really enjoyed that and started hanging around the scene, just really taking in all of that music and meeting all these phenomenal people. And I just kind of felt compelled, like, I mean, guitar's something somebody can do at any age. I might as well start learning.
Sure.
So I want to say I was at that point 25 or 26 whenever I was like, yeah, let's figure it out.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah,
very nice. Great list. I appreciate you sharing it with me. If you're okay with it, I'm just going to roll through them in release order.
Yeah, totally fine.
Which I'm glad I caught my mistake. I had 1999 written down, but it was actually 2003, I believe, when Blink 182's self-titled release came out. 14 tracks, 49 minutes, 5th of 9 for them, pop punk from Poway, California. Matt Jackerman had them on his list in episode 204 and was not shy in professing his fandom, talking about amazing live shows, great catalog, and was, they are without a doubt my favorite band of all time. Where are you on the fan spectrum, and what's special about this record for Adam Doyle?
They are definitely up there for me. Okay. I don't know if they're necessarily one of my... Matt loves them to a degree that I can't even explain. I also love them to a degree that is probably slightly less than that, but I think for a lot of the same reasons that he had as well. And then just something about the amount of... this kind of goes for a lot of the bands on this list, honestly, but the amount of fun that they can have, and the amount of like seriousness that they can have, and the amount of just straight up silliness, even depending on the song that you want to listen to. I actually had never seen them live until last year when they came through town, which was huge for me. Nice. I cried. I won't lie. So
nice. Hell yeah, dude.
It was awesome. I got to go see them with Ben, our buddy Mikey, and then Matt was with his wife in another section, but we were all there. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it was a great time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I think when Matt and I were messaging, he said that show was his 11th.
And I'm jealous.
So he only needed to see them 171 more times.
Yeah.
And then he would call it quits at 182.
Yeah, for sure.
This next one perplexed me for a minute. 2004's American Idiot, Green Day.
Yeah.
7 of 14, 13 tracks, 57 minutes, pop punk, punk rock out of Rodeo, California. I was fairly certain that this had made somebody else's list, but I could not, for the life of me, find it. I know Dookie's made a few lists. 21st Century Breakdown has made a list, but as far as Google was telling me, American Idiot has not until today.
Oh.
So what's special about this one?
I absolutely love this record. It was the Green Day record that came out right around that time when I was like starting to actually discover music for myself, and it was huge at the time. You absolutely couldn't escape it. At least from where I was at a standpoint. Like even like I grew up in a podunk country town, and people knew Green Day. They knew this record. A lot of my friends, like, whether it was like they had the CD or it was on their iPod or whatever, like a lot of us really, really liked Green Day. Really love this record because I think it is so cool how it encompasses so many different I think Green Day does this a lot, where they can encompass so many different aspects of life, whether it is something that they see as either politics or like social struggles, or it could just be everyday life and emotion at the same time. Like, they can kind of capture that all, and I think because of the like rock opera nature of the album too, like it really lends itself to storytelling and the way that all of that kind of comes together. I think it is definitely.
There are the two tracks that have like sort of 5 short chapters.
Yes, Jesus of Suburbia, and it's incredible. It's wild too, because like I know every year for the past few years, the first live show I ever technically played was I hopped up for 2 songs for a Green Day cover set that Ben and Matt were a part of, but with other band members from other like KC punk bands.
Okay.
They did it for Snake Saturday.
Okay.
So with those,
it's up north.
Yeah.
Snake Saturday. Is there a hub? Is there a venue that's kind of like the heart of it, or
all of North KC kind of is like it's just they have a bunch of stuff going on. They have the parade, businesses are open, so just as a part of that, what we did was it was Green Day is playing, but GREENEDAEYE, so like the Irish spellings.
Nice, yeah.
But so that was mostly Ben, Matt, and then Kyle Devlin from Game Time, and then his bassist Nick, and it was absolute blast. But like just at that point, like because we were starting to do Shotgun and all those other things, Ben was like, "Do you wanna come up for a couple?" I was like, "If you want me to, I'll figure
on the spot." He asked you?
Not on the spot. Like we had rehearsals and stuff. But
and did you had lead time to learn the pieces on your own?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, and then the 2 songs I played were ones that he taught me when I was doing lessons too. So it was
boom.
Yeah. So I played When I Come Around off of Dookie, and then I helped with Brain Stew and Jaded off of Insomniac, which is actually similar to Matt. A lot of the records are on my arm that we're going to talk about. I actually have, instead of American Idiot, though, because the first song we ever played together was it was Brain Stew / Jaded together. I have one of the guys from the Insomniac album cover.
Cool.
So
very cool.
Yeah.
There are few select bands out there that when they come up, like it's almost a disservice to not bring up the topic that they're very often associated with. The one that comes to mind first is Smashing Pumpkins, and what being in a band with Billy Corgan and some of the behaviors that he's demonstrated over the years is just peculiar. With Green Day, and I didn't know this until the very first time Dookie made a list, but not necessarily now, but like when Kerplunk and Dookie were coming out, there's a lot of hate going around from their peers. And I say that to mean like, you know, punk rock is like always been to me, and you know, decades ago when I first discovered its existence and what it's about and who's all in it and all that stuff. It's like F the man and, you know, sort of rebel oriented and underground and lo-fi and all these things. But most of those dudes in those bands or gals in those bands would prefer that folks come to their shows and prefer that folks buy their records.
Yeah.
And in doing either or both of those activities, you're elevating the punk scene a little bit. Well, Green Day did this.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, you know, whatever the thing, you sold out, you're not true punk, whatever. And it's like, dude, this is kind of what all of you
want to do.
Yeah. Like, why?
No, it's funny too, because I actually just watched the movie SLC Punk for the first time, like recently. And a lot of that movie talks about like posers versus punks and all this stuff, and like how ridiculous. The point of the movie is how ridiculous that is. So I'm a huge fan of it now. Definitely a great film, but I agree with your statement. I do not see.
And it's not like they were slouches, or dudes that weren't clearly committed to making records and putting on shows. I mean, they appear to have worked hard. You know. It's not like somebody's like, here you go, and just handed them everything. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that it's just they played what people wanted to hear, and that elevated that up to a certain point, and then that also, in turn, elevated the punk scene as a whole, as the genre as a whole. So many other bands were able to do what they could do because of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we're on the same page there for sure.
So this is 7 of 14. Are you familiar with all 13 others?
There are some that I'm way more familiar with than others, for sure. I would say like the big ones would be like obviously Dookie, and then Nimrod. Warning, I have a special soft spot in my heart for a lot. That one a lot of people don't like as much, but Ben, when you get him on, he might talk to you about it. How much his love for Warning is through the roof, and mine is definitely up there. But that has songs that are staples on it too, like Minority and why can't I think of it? I'll come back to it. It's such a good record too. But and then obviously American Idiot, 21st Century Breakdown, or 20th. 21st, whatever the number is. And then it's so interesting too, because then they did Uno, Dos, and Tre, which was 3 records that came out within a year, which, if we're all being honest, there was enough good songs from probably 1 record out of that. Like, there's
But then you don't get to do the thing.
But there was definitely some ups and downs, and really, I would say, like, there was probably a pretty big gap for me up until, like, as far as records that I was super into by them, up until between more or less like the best stuff of Uno, Dos, and Tre, and then after that there were some songs off of records that came out after that I enjoyed, but like it wasn't like the whole record like really stuck with me, kind of a thing, until this most recent one, Saviors, that came out like last year or 2 years ago, which is an absolute banger. I love that record. It's a true, like, feels like they're back to where they're supposed to be kind of record. So
perfect stranger that you meet at skate bar that asks you to tell them about the KC music scene has never heard of Green Day before, but is interested in checking them out. You're steering him to what record?
I'm gonna, even though American Idiot's my favorite, I'm gonna steer him towards Dookie.
Okay.
I think that's just the perfect starting point, and then you can see the evolution from there almost like immediately, just with the rest of it.
Nice. So that's '04. In '05, we get From Under the Cork Tree,
Yeah.
Fall Out Boy. Second of 8 for them, 13 tracks, 43 minutes, pop punk from Wilmette, Illinois. Steph Rupp of episode 50 had this one on our list.
Oh, nice.
It may have appeared one other time, but I couldn't seem to find it. How do From Under the Cork Tree and Fall Out Boy hit your radar?
Oh, I think my distinct memory for that was I was with a friend of mine. I was staying the night like with him and his older brother. I can't remember what we were doing specifically, but we were like not technically at either of our houses. I was like his aunt's or like someone's house, but it was because we played sports together, and I remember that. I think that was part of it. But what I think it was, I think we were either watching MTV or VH1, and the music video for either Dance Dance or Sugar We're Going Down came on. I can't remember which one now, but I just remember being completely enamored by the music and how cool the visuals were. I think it was Dance Dance. Now I'm thinking about it. And I just thought it was so fun and interesting. And then I was like, I have to figure out who this band is. Eventually got some friends to burn me a CD, and I got a bunch of their songs on it. It was a mixture of From Under the Cork Tree and then their next album, Infinity on High. But I fell absolutely in love. I joke that when I try to sing, I try to just do my best Patrick Stump impression. So
Nice.
my go-to karaoke song is Sugar We're Going Down, if in
Okay.
case you're curious.
They've been through a time or two since I got this thing off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen them?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The first time I got to see them was whenever their album American Beauty, American Psycho came out, which was it was like 2018, 2019,
Okay.
around that time frame. And it may have been the tour. The album might come up before that. Either way. But I remember going to that show and just being like, oh my gosh, yep, they sound exactly like how I always thought they would. It was like a true, like, truly special moment to finally have that happen the first time. And then the last time that I got to see them was after this most recent album release, the So Much for Stardust album. They came through and they played at Sandstone. Actually, both times I've seen them, they played at Sandstone. Or whatever it's called now, but it's
Always
Sandstone.
Yeah, always Sandstone.
So my favorite Fall Out Boy song of all time is off of this record, and it's Sophomore Slump or Comeback of the Year.
Okay.
And apparently, I didn't realize this, but they had not played that song live for maybe close to 10 years.
Wow.
And then they played it live for the first time on the tour at the show at Sandstone.
Wow.
And I cried like a
Hell
baby.
yeah.
I hugged all of my friends that were with me. It was really close to my birthday, too. It was just like this special
Yeah,
moment. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Bust out in the fish world, we call those bust outs. Hasn't been played in 645 shows or whatever. The case
Oh,
may be.
that's I worked a fish show when I worked at Starlight.
Did you really?
Yeah.
2012 or 15?
15.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, that was I couldn't give tickets away outside the venue.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I set some down.
Oh, wow.
And just went in. It's like, forget about it. Because that was, for years I was like, I'll get 4 tickets or 6 tickets or whatever and have no problem finding. And then as you get older and it gets harder to leave the house. I was like, I'm buying this many tickets from here on out.
That's fair.
Everybody else just, yeah, I love both venues a lot, Starlight and Sandstone. I think they have unique personalities and great sound and a lot of visual appeal, all in their own rights. Good stuff. So 2010. What separates me from you? A Day to Remember. This is 4th of 8, 10 tracks, 32 minutes. Did I mess that up?
That is the Danger Days.
That's why
album.
I sighed when I was like, this isn't right. This is not right. And the reason that it's wonky is because these records were released within a week of each other.
Okay, that I was gonna say. I think they're both 2010 though.
Yeah, I mean they're both November
Yeah.
2010. To be specific, where is it? So this is Danger Days, right?
That's what separates me from you.
Oh, yeah, it says it right there. What separates me from you, A Day to Remember, is 11/15 of 2010.
Okay.
4th of 8, 10 tracks, 32 minutes, including one from last year, it turns out, a record from 2025.
Oh, yeah.
Staying in the pop punk lane, we've gone California, twofer in California, Illinois, and now Ocala, Florida. I've never heard of these guys before. Please tell me all the things.
Oh, okay. So A Day to Remember is my favorite band of all time.
Okay.
Like, hands down, not
Nice.
a question. Anybody you talk to that knows me will tell you that
Okay.
answer. The close second is Fall Out Boy.
Okay.
So I adore this band. I found them late high school, and they've meant so much to me for so long. This is I think it's their 4th album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the album that they blew up on was their 3rd one, which is called Homesick. And that album is also incredible. It's so good. But there's something interesting just because between this album and then the rest of their discography too, this album in particular, I really, really love because it's just so tight and concise in a way that is hard for me to describe, because I totally understand people that would say a large amount of the records, whichever one it is their favorite. I kind of get it. It's almost like, what's your favorite Lord of the Rings movie? Like, I respect almost every answer that someone would give me. So the one that blew them up was Homesick. This was the one that came out right after it. And then the one that came out after this one was called Common Courtesy. And that it's usually between Homesick and Common Courtesy that a lot of people say is their favorite. And people still really like What Separates Me From You. It's not like a black sheep or anything by any means. But I don't know. I think there's just something special about how, like, compact and direct, and like it just feels like it was an exact package that knew what it wanted to be. And to me, all of these songs mean a lot because around the time it came out, the title is What Separates Me From You. And that means various things through a lot of the different songs in the albums, whether it is leaving a place physically, whether it's leaving a relationship behind, whether it's like, we may still be friends, but we don't like line up anymore in certain circles. Whatever the case is, it does each and every one of those perfectly, in my opinion. I truly enjoy it. And then the other thing too is, like, growing up, obviously liking pop punk, emo, and metal, A Day to Remember was just this like hurricane of every single one of those elements in one, because they get super heavy, they can be super fun, and they can get super sentimental and sweet as well. I just love the versatility of them as a band and just the amount of effort that they put into everything that they do. I've seen them 5 or 6 times now. They have never let me down. They have always been such a blast to go and see. I can't gush about them enough, honestly.
5 or 6 times in different venues, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen them. I have seen them every time that they have come to KC since 2018.
Okay.
So in 2018, it was their 15-year anniversary of being a band. So they did this phenomenal, like, extra long set, and they even played, like, they have a cover of Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, yeah.
That is incredible, and like they hadn't busted that out in forever apparently. Cool. So I got to hear that live. They played a lot of songs off of their second record, For Those Who Have Heart, which is also one that people say is their favorite a lot of the time. Absolutely incredible show. And ever since then, it's just been really cool to especially as they're releasing new music, like they always change it up. Like the one song that is like the song that everybody knows by them is Downfall of Us All, which is the first track off of the third record, Homesick, which is what kind of like really skyrocketed them. And a lot of times that has been the last song as far as like their like, you know, encores,
set
the
list,
nature of
yeah,
set list and
yeah.
everything. I think it's so cool that they have started to make it the opener, because the beginning of the song is just this like chant of a crowd getting hyped up anyway, because and it's the
hell
first
yeah.
and it's the first track of the album.
Yeah.
So like making it the kickoff for the first song of a set just gets everybody in the best mood possible, and it's just a super fun time. The last time they were here was just this past year. They were here with Yellow Card and the Wonder Years.
Okay.
And the Wonder Years is also another one of my favorite bands.
Nice.
That's on my arm as
Hell
well.
yeah. You have not traveled to see them?
No, I have not. I would definitely consider it. I almost did this year, or technically next year, but I can't make it. I have some other plans that overlapped with it, but they are hosting a cruise where they're the headliner on it, and there's a bunch of other like punk and metal and emo bands that are going to be on it. And I was so close to wanting to go to that, but I have some plans that I cannot break for that. So,
well, you gotta not this go around, but you gotta do that.
Oh yeah, I at some point in my life I will for sure.
Late in high school, you come across them?
Yeah, like mid to late high school, I think, because this came out 2010, so I want to say I probably found them around that time. I know I could drive, so it was somewhere around there.
Does a buddy turn you on to them, or?
Yeah, if I remember right, I think it was my buddy Kyle. I could be wrong on that, but if it was either him or my buddy Charlie, one of the two, but they were two kind of like my like rock music go-tos for a certain amount of time, and then my buddy Alex as well, actually. So yeah, it was cool.
So a week later, in still in November of 2010, Danger Days, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, My Chemical Romance, fourth of 4, 15 tracks, 54 minutes, alt rock, pop, punk out of New Jersey. Black Parade, episode 50, Steph Rupp. Also, Vanessa Kramer had it on her list in episode 171. Surprising to me that they, for a moment, and for me in college, like their name was kind of everywhere. So it's surprising to me that they only made 4 records. But this is the one of the 4 for you.
Yeah.
What puts it atop the other 3?
I just think it's this very cool culmination of the band as a whole. Up until actually, they did release a single more recently when they did their reunion tour.
Okay.
And that I would think is probably like an all-encompassing kind of song, like almost like an overture for them. It's called The Foundations of Decay, if I remember right. But as far as Danger Days goes, it's actually really interesting, because I think that the more that time goes on, the more love this album gets. Because at the time, this album was not well liked.
Really?
By a lot of people.
Really?
Because it's such a departure from the Black Parade. And I think that this kind of comes to the like punk versus poser thing that we were talking about earlier. I was like, they made a phenomenal record with absolutely no skips. Again, in my opinion, like I think that Danger Days is so cool, and it's just this amazing creative piece of work. And I don't know if anyone else talked about this or if you know this, but every My Chem album is a concept album.
No, I don't think I knew.
Yeah, so
if I did know it, I forgot.
So this one is Gerard Way, their frontman, is very well known in like the comic space and a bunch of stuff. He's like written for Marvel and DC and a bunch of different stuff as well. He loves telling stories and creating his own cool stuff. He wrote Umbrella Academy, which is now a Netflix series. But Danger Days tells a post-apocalyptic sci-fi adventure, technically. Cool. And I have the comics that he wrote for both of them.
Nice.
He has 2 graphic novels that have come out. That one was a sequel to the album, and then one is like a prequel / retelling of the album that came out more recently.
I'm so glad you said that, because I forgot to put it in my notes, but I definitely wanted to. I've had some folks come back for multiple episodes, but I've definitely had, at minimum, over 200 individual folks come on here, and you are only the second person to have Weeb on your profile. The first time I had...
Who's the other one? I need to meet him.
Kadesh Flow.
Oh, heck yeah. Okay.
I had to Google it.
I know Kadesh Flow.
Yeah. I was and in fact, I just went to last Thursday, 2 Thursdays ago. Flair the Rebel from episode 210 had a listening party at Vine Street Brewing, and he has really that album is only a few months old, and he put one single out. So the purpose of the party was to literally, if you RSVP'd, you got a set of Bluetooth headphones.
Oh.
And there was a little interview, and he did a number, and then you could just cruise around and listen to the rest of the record, and afterwards everybody voted on what they thought the next single should be, and then he tallied the votes and announced it. Well, right before the listening portion began, I saw Kadesh come in, and he went to get a beer, and I went to get a beer, and I walked up behind him. I said, "Didn't you see the No Weeb sign?" And then I saw your show. I was like, "Oh shit, we got another weeb in the house."
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. I love it.
Concept album.
Yeah.
You have the graphic novels that he did, and I cut you off somewhere around there.
You're good. No, totally fine. But yeah, I just think it's so cool. Like, everything that this album was intended to be is what it was intended to be, even though the path to it was interesting, because they do have a bunch of singles they released that was called Conventional Weapons, and they were all actually early studio recordings of... Some of them were like different versions of these songs, and some of them were totally different songs that didn't even make the record. And they essentially cut that project short to make Danger Days instead, and took elements and ideas that they had from it and then made Danger Days. And it's really cool if you go and listen to those singles and then listen for like stuff that's in these songs, because they take little bits and pieces and just they're everywhere.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, let's see here. Green Day, no. From Under the Cork Tree, I've listened to because it's made a list. What Separates Me From You, like I said, I'd never heard him before. That was the first listen. I definitely enjoyed it. The Black Parade, the first time that made a list, I had never sat down and listened to a My Chemical Romance record. And I was really surprised at how heavy they were.
Yeah.
I don't tend to lean too heavy in my own personal music listening lane. So I was pleasantly surprised with this.
Yeah.
Because
it's so different. Yeah.
And it's it took me a long time to, as a young snobby music kid, punk rock was power chords and screaming, and it's where anybody can do that. I could do that. And it was just it's not inventive. It's not. And then as your window gets wider and wider of bands and outfits coming through your world, I started to notice that I was having favorite punk bands, and it was because they were doing different shit and cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
And so I was wow. I am really impressed with the versatility, and sort of the tone and the message of this record. I wouldn't be able to write a synopsis saying what the record's about, but it was a great listen.
Yeah, no, it's so cool and different, and it still has the heart of what My Chem is, in my opinion, because it's just Gerard emoting through storytelling, more or less, along with the rest of the members of the band, of course. But yeah, it's so interesting too, just to see that, because if you see interviews with the band and stuff, they'll joke about how if you weren't playing music, what you'd be doing, and they'll be I don't know, I'm probably playing D&D. So they're a good group to now, I would like to hang out with them. Is probably
I've gotten this wrong before, but I feel like there's a good potential for getting it right right now, since there's both a My Chemical Romance and a Fall Out Boy record on the same list. Does one of them always end their show with the same tune?
Fall Out Boy typically does.
And there's something special
Fall Out Boy typically always ends their set with the song Saturday. and they have done that for every show for most of their entire career.
Okay.
So yeah.
But folks are into it. It's not like
it's like tradition at that point.
Okay.
Like it.
Okay.
And it helps. It's a phenomenal song.
Yeah. Right,
it's off of the album right before From Under the Cork Tree,
Okay.
which is called Take This to Your Grave. Yeah.
That's what it is. Somebody had that on their list.
Yeah, which is also an incredible Fall Out Boy record.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Great list. I really appreciate it. You suppose my chem is done?
I don't think so. Hopefully, optimistically,
Right?
because
of this overture
yeah,
single.
Yeah, they made that single. They did a reunion tour, and I got to see them for the first time ever on that reunion tour with Ben and then his brother Nate, who I'm also very good friends with. We got to see them. We went to Minneapolis, St. Paul area to go see them there. And it was so cool, too, because on top of it being like this amazing tour that they're doing, they're changing up songs all the time. They're doing different stuff each set, like all that. We got so many songs off of Danger Days. It was like the set was catered to us. Like we got to hear a song off of Danger Days called Vampire Money, which I would never in a million years have thought I would hear live.
Wow.
Ever. And it might be my favorite song on the record. And it's funny too, because it's the only song on the record that's actually not a part of the concept album. It's just the band as themselves at the very end. But the whole premise behind that, as far as the story goes, is that they were approached a million times to be like in the Twilight movies as a part of the soundtrack, and they said no.
Wow.
And that song's basically about that.
Wait, so did you guys road trip up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotta have been some good tunes in the car.
Oh yeah,
for that.
yeah. We made a playlist of just like a bunch of our favorite My Chem songs in general. We also made playlists of just like, hey, what are you listening to lately?
These days,
Like,
yeah. What was the venue?
I can't remember the name of the stadium, but it's where the Minnesota Wild play.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, it used to be called Excel Energy Center.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called now.
That might have been what it was called when we saw them. If it's changed names, I don't know.
You mentioned when you got here that you're a blues fan.
Yeah.
How does hockey and the St. Louis Blues find you?
Going to UCM, more or less.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So whenever I was growing up, I always liked the idea of hockey, but growing up in the middle of a small town south of Kansas City wasn't too much of a thing. I did do roller hockey for a couple years, but my parents did not want to drive an hour and a half for that all the time. So understandable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always thought it was neat. Always thought it was cool. We have the Mavs, obviously, and I like caught a game or two in high school and thought that was fun. And then going to UCM, it is such this like this blending of people from the KC and St. Louis area that I have so many close friends that are blues fans. And then I remember the first and still only blues game I've ever actually been able to go to was over a spring break like staycation that I did with a bunch of friends.
Nice.
But like after that, like
what year was that? Do you know?
that was 2013.
Okay.
I want to say.
Okay.
It was either 2013 or it was 2014.
Okay.
I can't remember which one, but yeah.
Yeah, they usually are in town for St. Pat's, and St. Pat's is kind of St. Louis is kind of a big St. Pat's town, so it's always like, tricky, you know, if you, like. The people that are downtown for St. Pat's are like, what? There's people down here for other stuff. It's like, you got to let us through. Like, I don't know how closely you follow them currently.
More or less just like checking in on them than anything else. But yeah.
So this was very surprising news to me. 2 months ago, Doug Armstrong stepped down as GM, which, Army, a lot of folks have been supportive of his pretty lengthy tenure, and a lot of, there's been waves where folks are like, you're not getting it done, bro. Like, so not only was that surprising, but the manner in which he did it was very surprising as well, because I think he hired Alexander Steen to be his replacement, who was still on the roster when the Blues won the Cup in 2019.
Oh.
Steiner?
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was still around.
Interesting.
and then so that happens, and the draft, they had that, and the draft happened pretty, and all of a sudden it was like trade, and they like got a bunch of picks, and I really think they loaded up on offense.
I need to catch up then.
I mean,
yeah.
Here's the thing: is the Royals being in the the playoffs against the Yankees 2 years ago, and the Blues being in the playoffs against the Jets 2 years ago, were the first time I've been able to watch either of those two teams on television since they went to the paid package.
Oh, wow.
Because everything used to be on Fox Sports Midwest, like every Blues game.
Yeah.
So I literally don't watch games anymore because I'm not paying
it's
for
impossible.
it.
Yeah,
I'm not.
That's
so
why
they make the playoffs, and I'm like, let's
okay,
fucking go.
That's exactly how I am. I just check in on the ESPN app. I'm like, how are we doing, guys? And that's about it.
Yeah.
So
they seemed to be making a late season this past season, late season run similar to the run they made to get in the playoffs when they did win the cup. I mean, they won something crazy like 11 out of 12 and really, but just could.
Yeah.
The front half of the season was so many coughed up leads that became losses. I was like,
what are we doing?
Precisely.
Yeah.
So I still get when they tweet, I still get push notifications.
Yeah.
And so that's the only, I'm not like going out of my way, but it's fascinating that, because they're 7 years already, 6 years, 7 years removed from that cup win. I'm sure the argument could be made that he could ride that wave a little longer, but I think it's fantastic to have not only some fresh blood and new thinking, but a kid that was a dude that was on the roster that
that'll really care,
helped put together. So anyway, let's go Blues.
Yeah.
Man, thanks. I appreciate it. I've got a quick series of goofy questions to hit you with, and then we'll get you out of here.
Sounds good.
The first is, you're given the ability to have a cup of coffee with anyone of your choosing, dead or alive. Who's it going to be and why?
Ooh. Like music or anybody? Anybody. Oh. Musically, it's Kevin Scaff from A Day to Remember.
Okay.
He's my favorite guitarist. He's the reason why I own a white and gold Les Paul.
Nice.
So that's probably the best answer I could give off the spot. So
okay, so that's happening tomorrow.
Yeah.
Are you? And let's just, because we can predict the future, it's going to be an hour and a half. Are you fanboying out, or are you going to try to talk normal life stuff?
Probably a mixture of both, a healthy mixture of both. Because obviously I would have so many questions just about the music and writing and all those things. But I think it'd be cool just to talk. They anytime I've seen them play, or anytime I've seen interviews or anything, they seem just very real, down to earth dudes.
Nice.
So yeah.
If you can pretend or imagine that we all have a personal and a professional bucket list, you're given all the necessary resources to go knock out number one on each of those lists. What are those number ones?
Ooh, okay. Personal would probably be, I would love to go and live in Japan for a year. I think that would be...
That's mine, bro.
Oh, really?
Swear to God.
That's awesome.
Swear to God.
Yeah.
And I want to get a dose of urban and rural. I want to be out in the country.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Get some culture on me that way.
Yeah.
But then go to the city too.
I've technically been once before, but it was for 2 weeks in high school.
Oh.
So it was an awesome experience.
With family?
With some family friends. They had people that were stationed on one of the Air Force bases out there in Okinawa.
Whoa.
And they were like, we're going to see family if you want to come. And I was like, yeah, I'll go. That sounds awesome.
And while school was in session?
It was over spring break, and then we had 1 week of school that I missed. So I just had to make up a minimal amount of stuff. But
and stuff still
Oh,
This
yeah.
resonate? I mean,
There's especially just because Okinawa's basically like their Hawaii. It's like very much like countryside for the most part, but then like there's a hub city, like kind of centralized almost. Is kind of how it felt. At least with where we were in like in relative like proximity to like the base and stuff. But yeah, it was so cool. We went ziplining in a forest, and like we went and like tried all this incredible food. It was a great time. But I want to go back, and I want to stay like my ideal like way of going about it would be, one, obviously like it's a full year, so it'll be plenty of time to do it. But I want to go to Hokkaido and like snowboard or ski, because they have apparently really phenomenal like mountains and stuff for that out there. And then also do a lot of the stuff like the central area, like Tokyo, Kyoto, like all of those areas, just to like see the city, do those kinds of things, the history. Also, like I said, I'm a huge weeb, so it's kind of a huge part of it. Go nerd out a little bit, probably. But then also, yeah, like the countryside too. Like I would love to go and experience that. Like,
I hear that it's clean, quiet, and safe no matter where you are.
that is
bonkers.
what I hear. Yeah.
Do you think that you would have this pull had that high school trip not happened?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
100%.
Okay,
Yeah,
just on the weeb front.
pretty the weeb front. Like I also like history and just
Okay.
like the general concept of stuff. So whenever we did cover like in high school like world history, and we went over Asia, like all the stuff about like samurai and that kind of era, I thought was really intriguing.
Yeah.
And then obviously like movies and other stuff too. But yeah,
Cool. Okay, that's your personal.
yeah.
Professional doesn't have to necessarily be work related. It could be band. I mean, whatever
Yeah.
comes to mind.
I guess it doesn't even seem like it's that not doable, because we've already done like an EP. But I think my personal goal would be, I don't know if it's what we would do next. What we do next will probably be another EP, but like professional goal music wise would be, I would want to do like a full length album.
Awesome.
I think
I love
that would
it.
be it. Yeah.
One of the reasons I do this is because I love the concept of the album and want it to stay alive.
Oh, for sure.
And not us just fall into a singles EP sort of culture.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with singles and EPs.
Oh, for sure.
But I think it's pretty rad when people make albums.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You're given the ability to. We're not trying to change who you became, who you turned out to be. This is not a regret rooted kind of thing. You're given the ability to visit your past self at any age of your choosing. What age are you choosing, and what are you saying?
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna choose probably junior high, like either junior high or early high school me, and I'm going to tell myself that it's okay to ask to learn how to play guitar from my parents.
Boom.
Like
Yeah.
I like obviously I love where I'm at, and I love that I am doing what I'm doing. I just think it would be cool to have found that love sooner, more or less than anything. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm also super grateful for the fact that I found it when I did, because I wouldn't be a part of the community the way that I am. I wouldn't be such good friends with so many people, and like the relationships that I have now also. So maybe it's not that, actually. I don't know.
There's something to be said for like having enough life experience in your DNA to where like you can appropriately place learning a new craft and challenging yourself to write and to perform in front of a crowd. Nothing wrong with that entering your life at 14.
Yeah.
But I think by the time you're this age now, like you're wired a little bit differently.
I think you're right, and I think maybe I take that back. Maybe it's something different. If it's not the music thing, then I would it would probably be maybe just overall in general, telling myself not to be afraid to do what I want to
like
do.
That.
I think that probably makes a bit more encompassing sense. Just for me personally, and the journeys that I've had, like with music and with friends and family and everything else. I think that's probably what it would be. Yeah.
You're aware that at one point there was a television show called Fear Factor?
Yes.
When the challenged by tolerating the gross or whatever. This is not that. This is real life.
Okay.
This is you needing to get from point A to point B. Halfway there, you come across your biggest source of anxiety, fear, creeps, whatever the case may be. What is it?
Ooh. Probably it's either drowning or buried alive. It's one of the two.
Fucking those are my answers. and it's actually, I've learned having this portion of a conversation so many times over, that what I'm actually most scared of is having a mental break and going insane
while that's happening, same page.
That is happening as a precursor to the buried or the drowning. And it's like whether you are in a scenario where you could get out of the drowning or get out of the burying, I wouldn't be able to, because I would go so bonkers.
100%.
And that's terrifying.
I agreed.
I like having my mind be somewhat sound.
Somewhat. At least a little bit, yeah.
Last but not least, please complete this for me. The world would immediately become a better place in which to live if only
people stopped to listen and empathize with each other more.
I love it. All great answers. All great answers. You got to take me with if you wind up making Japan happen.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
or entertain me coming and staying with you for a night just so I can get a little on me.
Definitely.
Good stuff, man. At Doyle93 on the gram and at Shotgun Wedding Singer also on Instagram. There's a Facebook, a YouTube, the 3 singles, the 2 EPs where you stream. Other plugs.
Not really anything right now, other than if you do go to our YouTube, our single for I Think You Should Leave has a music video out.
Really?
Yeah, so if you want to go check that out, it's pretty cool.
Is it you guys jamming live, or is there a story being told? Or?
So it is a very fun romp. It's kind of inspired by BoJack Horseman. I don't know if you've seen that show or not, but
I've heard of it.
So more or less, I think you've had Joshua James on the show.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, so
Joshua James.
Josh is the star. So he has a rubber horse mask on, and he's the main character. And it is him going through his like daily life of kind of like shooting himself in the foot and being a jerk like the whole time.
Okay.
And like the premise of the song, I Think You Should Leave, it's about kind of like cutting somebody out of your life that like you did care for, but like they gotta help themselves, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So it's him going through that life day in his life. It's really cool too. Our buddies in the warm-ups lent a hand for helping out with that too.
Okay.
For being like some extras in it, as well as You Monster You. They're great guys as well. But it's going through that day, and then Josh in the horse mask winds up at one of our shows.
Cute.
And so he kind of like causes a ruckus, and then we kick him out. But we did use footage from like an actual show he did.
Where?
It was at the Rhino.
At the Rhino?
Yeah. And it was so fun and just goofy and a good time. But yeah, like we played, we had like we let the crowd know, it was like, just so you know, the guy causing shenanigans in the horse mask is a part of it. Like don't get mad at him.
Yeah.
And then like we just like did a lot of fun stuff, like filming with that, and then kind of getting him
nice
pushed out there. It's cool.
Who shot it?
So it was a mixture between Matt and then our friend Riley. And he actually, I think he just won a filming award thing, or at least
Riley Corbin?
Not Corbin.
Okay.
Is Riley? Oh my gosh, Riley! I'm so sorry, I don't remember your last name. I will let you know.
That's
sorry.
fair. No worries. That's fun.
Yeah.
Joshua James has a band.
Yes.
And First Aid.
Yeah, Joshua James is the First Aid Kid.
Oh, sorry. Joshua
Has a band
James
is his handle.
Instagram.
Yeah.
And then when he was on, he was doing something on Wednesday nights at Grindr.
Yeah, he does the Wednesday Wave at Grinders.
Wednesday Wave.
So it's like once a month in the summer season. And then
another venue.
Yeah. But he does that. It's like a local music showcase.
Yeah.
A lot of friends have played that. A lot
Cool.
of different people from, some people even coming through from out of town too.
Nice.
Have done it, that are just like local regional doing the DIY thing. which has been really cool. And then he also occasionally hosts the open mic at Piano Room every once in a while too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shotgun Wedding Singer YouTube page. Check out the video for
I Think You Should Leave.
I Think You Should Leave.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you had hoped that we would cover that we did not?
I don't think so. I think this was a great time.
Cool,
It was a good
man. Thank you.
conversation, man.
I appreciate
It's
that.
fun.
Well, I really appreciate the time. Hope the gig is fun tonight.
Yeah.
And the infancy stages of the forthcoming EP are rewarding and enjoyable and all that good stuff.
Thank you.
Hope to talk to you soon, man. Appreciate it.
You as well.
All
Loved
right.
it.
Cheers.
Yep.